The New York Knicks dropped to 5-4 after a loss Monday night against the Celtics, 114-98. And we're here to talk to Bryan Fonseca about this game. Bryan, how you doing, man?
Thought it was a pretty good game until it wasn't. Until it wasn't. It was also a good start, but unfortunately for the Knicks, that is another loss to the Celtics.
Yeah, the Knicks were up by 8 in this one, going to the second half, obviously. And then it turned into the Jayson Tatum show in the fourth quarter. Dude dropped 17 points, hit a bunch of threes late, and the Celtics pulled away, just proving again that they are the better team, it seems like, than the New York Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks didn't have RJ Barrett playing tonight, who was could not play due to migraines, but it just wasn't enough. So, Bryan, when you watched this game, what was your biggest takeaways?
They didn't have an answer for Jason Tatum. Kristaps Porzingis was effective against them again, which is something that, I mean, these are one of the teams that you're going to have to run into if you have playoff aspirations and contender aspirations, which I don't think the Knicks are a contender, but I think they see themselves as a team that could be if certain things break right. I think Boston's clearly a level above them. They proved it again. But I think that RJ Barrett being absent from this game sort of magnifies how important it is that Emmanuel quickly is consistent, which he has not been yet this season.
Mm.
And I felt like Dante DiVincenzo would give them more in his role. And I felt like tonight was an opportunity for him to step up, but he wasn't as impactful as I thought he could have been. So the depth concern that I have for Boston in general was sort of washed away because the Knicks' depth didn't really come through in RJ Barrett's absence. And, I clearly think like they need a player or two to sort of help elevate them. But I think this also magnifies like, hey, RJ Barrett, he's been on a pretty good stretch these last few games. And he has sort of put some things together. He has to prove it consistently and do it over the course of a full season. But, I've been high on him for a while in terms of can he reach his potential? I think he's closer to that, but it's still only November. But
Right.
ultimately, I think, if he's out, Emmanuel quickly and Dante DiVincenzo have to step up. And they didn't really tonight.
No, they didn't. And to your point, the Knicks bench really couldn't get it done tonight. You spoke about DiVincenzo, you spoke about Manuel quickly, even on a night when Julius Randle goes off for 25, Brunson 26. These are your star players, and Barrett obviously not there to give him extra scoring, doesn't help. So going forward, is he just that big of a piece for this Knicks team that RJ Barrett has to be that consistent force, giving you maybe 15 to 20 points a night, no matter what?
I think there were times in the early Tibbs era, like even that first playoff run, where I would say, hey, RJ Barrett, why is he just kind of standing in the corner on a lot of these Julius Randle dominated possessions? And I was questioning, could they play together? And I feel like Jalen Brunson's come in and sort of made that work a little
Mm.
more than I thought he would. So I do think the three of them could work together. But the issue is it's clear that if they're going to contend, they're going to need to elevate one of those three positions. And it's not going to be Jalen Brunson because I think he's locked in for the duration of that contract. Julius Randle got his extension, RJ Barrett got his extension. But if the team is going to be better and competitive on a serious level, you're probably going to have to upgrade the Randall or RJ Barrett spot, which is going to be a topic of discussion until they actually do it. Or you just make the role players around them so good and so undeniable that you could just win that way. But are those three good enough to elevate you, right? I think that's a macro question that, it's not going to be answered tomorrow. So it's not something we have to really, we have time to get into that. But I think that RJ Barrett's absence being key is a testament to how effective he's been for the most part
Right.
early on this season. And, Julius Randle, while he was kind of inefficient tonight from the field, he has been better after a very slow start
He
to the
looks
season.
healthier.
Yeah, he does look healthier, looks springier, but again, I want to see the consistent level of playmaking night in and night out and not, shoot over two defenders as he did on multiple occasions tonight.
No, it's a great point by you. And then on the flip side, the Celtics, they just obviously they look like the better team. They are the better team, but there's that realm of the Knicks want to get there. It doesn't seem like they're going to get there because I just, for me, Barrett and Randall aren't those type of players that Jayson Tatum is, and maybe even a Kristaps Porzingis who can do go off like a night like tonight also. So the Celtics going forward, Are they the team to beat in the East? Like, are you looking at them as the perennial powerhouse in the Eastern Conference right now?
Well, so far, yeah, it has to be the case. But I mean, they've often looked like the team to beat until May, and then all
Mhm.
of a sudden it's Milwaukee, it's Miami, it's somebody else. They've actually broken through and gotten to the finals one time in recent memory, right? So I think with Boston, it looks great early. Their depth is going to be a concern, as is the health question marks about Kristaps Porzingis, and then Drew Holiday's age, and Tatum and Brown. They've been great, but they've been dinged up every now and then. I don't have the injury concerns for them though that I would for Kristaps Porzingis, because history would sort of suggest like maybe liable to miss some time. He missed some time this summer that knocked him out of the World Cup, which was a great run for Latvia, regardless, right? But I think those are the things you're going to have to sort of shore up the depth wise. And as it relates to the Knicks, if you're looking around at the Eastern Conference, I feel like Boston right now, and it's still November 13th, so whatever. But right now, Boston's the clear favorite. Milwaukee's a team who, when they get it together, they're expected to be up there. Although defensively, they have a lot of issues, and the Damian
Right.
Lillard thing not working out quite like we may have thought so far. But it's still very early. We'll give them the grace to figure that out. Miami's just sort of always a dark horse. They started 1-4, and because they're masochistic and have the league right where they want them, they won 5 straight games, and they have a few other, winnable games on the horizon. And then we'll sort of see where the Cavs and the 76ers sort of fall into that, getting
Mm,
my James Harden teams mixed up. But the 76ers, Tyrese Maxey looks like he's going to be an all-star
yeah.
this year, and he's been great. And that's sort of why they wanted to trade James Harden, because now you have the emergence of a new star in the East. So it's kind of like, could RJ Barrett become that for the Knicks? Like that's sort of the thing in terms of who's going to raise the ceiling the most of this team. I think other than the role players collectively just developing and getting better, if you're looking at one guy, it's RJ Barrett, because I think Julius Randle, whatever we've seen from him, that's the best it's going to be. And that's good because it's gotten most improved. It's gotten all-star. It's gotten all NBA. Jalen Brunson, feel like what he did last year, that's along the lines. If it's not his peak, it's very close. RJ Barrett's the one that I feel like he has a ceiling to get to that we haven't seen yet, because we haven't seen it consistently enough. I think he's a little bit closer, but he has to get there in order for the Knicks to really make a statement, I think, in the Eastern Conference.
To your point, Brian, it just feels like the Knicks aren't there yet. But if RJ Barrett can get healthy, obviously, and get on the court, see how it goes. But I appreciate you as always for giving us your insight and breaking down this game tonight. Thanks again, Brian.
Absolutely. Anytime.